You think silence hurts your avoidant ex? What really gets to them happens when you stop doing the one thing they've been secretly counting on. If you've been wondering whether your avoidant ex even cares that you're gone, I need you to hear this. They do feel something. But what hurts them isn't what you think. It's not your texts, not your attempts to fix things, and definitely not your social media posts. What actually affects an avoidant runs way deeper, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why the thing that hurts them most is the same thing that'll set you free. Plus, I'll show you how to tell if your ex is capable of real growth, or if they're stuck repeating the same pattern forever. Avoidants don't process emotional pain the way you do. When you broke up, you probably felt it immediately. The tears, the sleepless nights, replaying every conversation at 3 a.m. That's how most people handle loss. But avoidants spent their whole lives building defenses against those feelings. From childhood, they learned that needing people equals pain, so their brain taught itself to shut down emotional responses. This is called deactivation, a protective strategy where they suppress attachment-related thoughts and minimize their need for closeness. So when you wonder, does my ex even care? The answer is yes, but they've buried those feelings deep. At least that's what they think they've done. Here's what really hurts an avoidant ex. When you finally stop trying to get them back. Not fake no contact, not strategy. When you genuinely move on and become whole without them. Let me explain. Avoidants carry this deep belief that they're not enough. They won't admit it. They act super independent. But underneath is someone who expects to be abandoned. So they abandon first. They pull away, create distance, break up. It's about control. But here's the thing. Even though they left, part of them still expects you to chase. Your chasing proves they matter. It proves they're worth fighting for. It validates the part of them that wonders if they're lovable. When you chase, you're actually feeding their system. You're painful in the moment because you trigger their fear of being smothered, but you're also confirming they're important enough to pursue. If that just clicked for you, hit the like button so I know this is making sense. Stay with me, because this next part changes everything. When you actually stop and start focusing on yourself, that's when cracks appear. Not immediately. They're experts at shutting down. At first, they feel relief. They think, finally, I can breathe. But then something shifts. Days turn into weeks. You're not texting. You're not checking their profile. You're not showing up at their usual spots. And slowly, reality sinks in. You're actually okay without them. You're not pretending. You're genuinely building a life that doesn't orbit around their mixed signals. That's what hurts. It confronts them with the truth they've been running from. They lost someone who genuinely cared, and it was their own doing. The abandonment they feared, they caused it. The person they thought would always wait, moved on. Research shows that while avoidant individuals minimize emotional distress on the surface, they actually show heightened physiological stress responses, like increased heart rate and skin conductance when facing relationship threats. Their body reveals what their mind denies. This is crucial, because it'll save you months or years. The real question isn't whether your ex is good or bad. It's whether they're willing to do the work on themselves or not. When you stop chasing, an avoidant who's willing to grow will eventually do self-reflection. They might not run back immediately, and they'll be awkward about it, but they'll reach out with accountability. They'll say things like, "I've been thinking about how I handled things," or, "I realize I pushed you away when you were trying to love me." They show curiosity about their patterns. They might mention therapy or working on themselves. But an avoidant who's stuck in their patterns, They'll do one of three things. Either completely disappear like you never existed, or breadcrumb you with just enough attention to keep you hooked without real commitment or change. Or worst, they'll come back with the same promises and repeat the exact same pattern within weeks. If your ex does any of those last three things, that's not someone whose pain is leading to growth. That's someone whose discomfort is making them double down on their defenses. That's your sign to fully let go. Let's talk about what matters most: your healing. I know you clicked hoping to hear your ex is suffering. Maybe they are, in their locked-down way. But whether or not they're hurting is completely irrelevant to your life. Your healing can't depend on their pain. Your worth can't depend on whether they realize what they lost. Because even if they do realize it, even if it does hurt them, even if they do come back, that doesn't mean they're good for you. It doesn't mean the relationship would be healthy. It doesn't mean you wouldn't end up right back in the same anxious, confused place. The real power isn't making them hurt. It's genuinely not needing them to hurt. It's getting to a place where you're so focused on building your own secure attachment, on attracting emotionally available people, on creating a life you love, that whether your ex hurts doesn't even matter anymore. These aren't tactics to get your ex back. These are standards for how you deserve to be loved. If understanding what hurts an avoidant helps you stop blaming yourself, great. But don't let it become another way to stay mentally tied to someone who isn't available. You deserve someone who doesn't need to lose you to see your value. Someone who doesn't shut down when things get real. Someone who can say, "I'm scared," instead of disappearing for weeks. Someone whose love doesn't feel like trying to hold water in your hands. When you truly get that, when you stop making yourself small to fit someone else's emotional limits, you become magnetic to secure, available love. That's when you break the cycle. Does it hurt your avoidant ex when you move on? Probably. Eventually. In ways they might not fully feel. But that's their journey, not yours. Your journey is learning you were never too much. You were just with someone who couldn't handle your depth. Your journey is understanding the right person won't make you question whether you matter. If this resonated with you, drop a comment and tell me. What's been the hardest part about moving on from your avoidant ex? Is it wondering if they ever really cared? Accepting that they might not change? Or something else entirely? I want to hear your story, because you're not alone in this. And if this gave you clarity or made you feel less alone, share it with someone who's trying to decode their own avoidant ex. Sometimes we all need that reminder that wanting consistent love doesn't make us needy. Your next video is queued up and ready.